Following the success of Desert Botanical Garden's 85th anniversary private label gins, the second spirited collaboration introduces a small batch whiskey.
Ooh, it's solidly exclusive, so exclusively at the garden, and Lexi recently used it to mix up a classic old-fashioned I did not have yet.
We are here at Desert Botanical Garden at Gertrude's the restaurant, where they are wrapping up their 85th year. They are wrapping it up with a bourbon from SanTan Spirits, and I'm here with Alejandro from SanTan Spirits. How are you doing?
Hey, good morning.
So tell me a little bit about the process that went into making the bourbon.
So making this bourbon was incredibly fun with our friends here at the Desert Botanical Gardens. We obviously started with the gins, like you mentioned, to kick off the 85th year. And much like whiskeys need, they needed a little time. And so we spent the past year developing what they would want to look for in a bourbon. And that was what we decided on, was let's give them America's Spirit, the most popular whiskey there is, with a little Desert Botanical Garden flair to it.
Perfect. And so what was the process like in making the bourbon, selecting it? I know you said they came down, tasted a few.
Yeah. So what we did is we took a few different bourbon samples from our barrels, and we had the team come down and they got to taste a bunch of different ones. And they eventually selected a certain flavor profile that they liked. What that flavor profile is comes from what we call our Sacred Stave line of whiskeys. All that means is they're at least 2-year minimum aged. However, we get a little accelerated aging, which I can tell you about in a minute. And they're all finished in red wine French oak casks for a nice, smoother finish on these whiskeys. It's just a little unique touch we like on our Sacred Staves. They loved it. We said, let's throw some barrels in a blend it all together, get it bottled up, and it's hitting the garden real soon, if not already.
That is so exciting. And so we were talking a little bit earlier about the whole process that goes into making a bourbon. It can be long, but in Arizona, it can be a little bit quicker.
It can be. We still have to give it the full time. The advantage that we get from our aging process is, so at our distillery down on Arizona Ave and Warner, we have a very big warehouse storing all our barrels that go 8 barrels high. That's very high normally for barrels. So what happens is in the dead of summer, it'll be 130 in the top of those barrels, which means those barrels are going to swell. Wood acts like skin pores, where it opens up the hotter it gets. And so they open up real wide, the whiskey gets in there and grabs all the flavors from inside those barrels. It grabs some of that wine that's coated on the shallow end of the staves. And then as it cools off, it contracts, the whiskey starts to homogenize and blend together. And all this happens in a 24-hour cycle in the dead of summer. So a 2-year whiskey may taste closer to 3, sometimes even 4 years after that 2 years, which we love. We love using our desert climate.
I bet.
And that's how it connects to the garden as well.
That's
they
awesome.
use our climate to show off all the flora that thrives in our desert. So too does our barrels.
Perfect. And so this is wrapping up the 85th year at the Desert Botanical Garden. Where can they find it? When will it be out?
So we're kicking off the 86th year with this one here at the garden. We make this for them. This is their bottle to shine, along with the gins that we make for them as well. So you can come try a cocktail here at Gertrude's, which we're going to put you through the ringer here in a minute, and you'll get to make a delicious old-fashioned for the viewers. But also for anybody that's coming to check out the garden itself, whether it's the community days coming up or coming to check out the art exhibits they have coming up, or lots of events coming up over the next few months, they'll be able to come purchase a bottle straight from the gardens here soon.
Okay, perfect. And so, as far as I understand, we're going to be making a cocktail now.
I would love an old-fashioned here first thing this morning. This is the lovely Michelle Jacob here from Gertrude's, and she's going to show you the way on how to make a classic old-fashioned.
Perfect. So I'm going to be using the bourbon that you guys have created.
Sacred Stave bourbon, like I mentioned.
Okay.
The bourbon is going to let the wood itself speak. So you're going to get a lot of the wood notes on here. Baking spice, little vanilla, cinnamon. There you go, full pour. Oh yeah, 2 ounces.
Okay, perfect. And then pour it in. Guys, I've never made a drink before, so we're trying it out first.
You're good on 2 ounces there.
Flip it over. Oops. Okay. We're gonna put in some, what is this?
These are bitters.
Bitters.
So an old-fashioned traditionally, you're gonna have the whiskey, you're gonna have bitters, you're gonna have sugar and a garnish. That's it. There you go.
Whoa, Lexi. So pour that in. And then I'm gonna pour it in. We're gonna grab this little bottle behind the bar.
This is the Demerara, so this is gonna be the sugar component to your old-fashioned.
Put it in. So
also why this is the most popular cocktail there is. A little sugar goes a long way.
Cool. And put it in. Yum, guys. And then we're going to stir it up.
with that beautiful Gertrude's G in there.
Oh yeah.
Go
You
ahead,
guys can't see.
you can give it a good rousing, yeah.
You guys can't see, but the ice is in the shape of the G for the restaurant. And we're gonna keep stirring, nice and quick.
You want to make sure everything's nice and blended, and that
Nice and
ice is
blended.
diluting the whiskey down a little bit. It's also bringing the temperature of the overall cocktail down as well.
Perfect. Okay. We're gonna take the ice out. Put the G transferred over. And then we'll pour it in.
There you go.
Perfect.
Now you just need a garnish.
We're gonna garnish it. What is this? What is this?
Cherry and fig.
Cherry and fig. And then there you have it. An old-fashioned,
Your first
correct?
old-fashioned,
My first
congrats.
old-fashioned, everybody.